A mustard seed sown by the first executive governor of Ogun State, late Chief Victor Olabisi Onabanjo, began operations secretly at rooms 410 and 411 of the then Gateway Hotel Kuto Abeokuta, with a handful of its workforce drawn from media organizations including the Ogun State Broadcasting Corporation (OGBC), which had been running 5 years earlier, precisely 1976. After the studio complex, which was located at the Kilometer 9 Ajebo Road, Abeokuta, was completed with the complement of a television village comprising 5 quarters built at a cost of 150,000 naira by the then chairman of the task force on Ogtv, Mr. Kola Bangbelu of the blessed memory.
Those that I collected into the task force, they were highly dedicated. We started with less than 10 members of staff.
The plan was small mast. Then we were using 2 rooms from the Ogun State Hotel, 210 and 211. One for presentation and announcement and purposes, and the other as newsroom.
Mr. Bangbelu, having laid a foundation of prudence, successive general managers of the state television from Mr. Shobodu, late Otumba Yomi Onobolu, Engineer Kendi Eleshi, Alhaji Riscott Ogunfemi, Chief Jai Dada, Mr. Segun Olaleye, Alhaji Ayinde Shoaga, Mr. Festus Kehinde, and now Mr. Tunde Kazim had built on.
I was busy with the program that I was handling. I think the governors along the line said only 3 people should move from OGBC to Ogtv, and I think he named them for the then director of task force, Mr. Kola Bangbelu. Then myself, Ayodele Sulaiman, and Mrs. Shamukunle moved to Ogtv from OGBC to join 4 other people who came from various media organizations. And that was the nucleus of Ogtv. 7 people started the work, which we are now seeing today.
In 1997, when my first company as general manager, the first challenge I had was that the transmitters that were installed at that time were very old, and we could barely transmit 3 hours a day. Coupled with the fact that we didn't have enough money because we were not generating revenue. We managed our staffing position very well.
Ogtv started by introducing new innovations in broadcasting. Ogtv started the weekend television.
Remember that time when you are transmitting to radio, there will be nobody, no taxi in town. Everybody will have run home to be able to enjoy a radio.
Television business was never a tea party, as resources for running a television station are enormous, even with it 1,750 feet above the sea level height mast advantage. This perhaps informed the decision of the then military governor of Ogun State, Brigadier General Oladipo Dia, who approved an edict drifting the state television station towards commercialization. 30 years after the commercialization of the station, Ogun State Television has been able to prove itself in spite being sandwiched between the Lagos and Ibadan market, which have quite a number of formidable radio and television stations as competitors.
OGTV is more or less a training ground for broadcasters all over the world. Many broadcasters have passed through OGTV, and they are doing quite well all in their various fields of labor. The likes of radio passed through OGTV, Kola Kubuiji, the all pioneer staff of REPA and EIT. We have the likes of Kayode Akintembi, Koyi Shutabi, Sheyi Olopode, and quite a lot of them who have passed through OGTV. and many of them are in international broadcasting organizations.
For decades, Ogun State Television has a robust program estate which takes care of its viewer regardless of the status. There is public enlightenment belt, children belt, educational belt, news belt, and religious belt. From Monday to Friday, for instance, there is New Dawn Otuojo, which takes care of current issues, public enlightenment, social, political, and economic, as well as technological issues. In a nutshell, Ogtv has improved on its programs over the years to take care of the ever-changing world.
We have been doing very well, and I want you to continue to do very well. And by the grace of God, you will continue to do very well, and you do better than what you have done before.
I remember one of the best stations Nigeria ever produced. The day I was announced as governor of Ogun State, it was on that station I picked it first. I was installing an aerial to pick OGBC, Ogtv. I had it.
The time I became governor in 1999, the liabilities led by the military was too much. In spite of that, I managed to raise the fund. Ogtv was being watched throughout the country. The television was functioning so well that we were beaming signals up to Kwara, and the Republic was even almost part of Ogun State.
First, we must give kudos to the founding fathers. I think, if my memory is right, this was one of the legacies of the first civilian governor, Chibisi Onabanjo, who happened to have been a great journalist. And I think that, of course, there are so many other TV stations, state-owned, that has come up. But Ogtv over the years have remained quite strong. It's a good brand, and I think that they should not relent in their efforts.
Recent addition to its stable include Glimpses, Saturday Special, and The World This Week. The sports desk of the People's Tele for decades have been handled by professionals who run the beat according to the best practices in the sport telecast, and personnel on the sport desk have been involved in global coverages of events organized by international bodies. Although located in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, Ogun State Television has been in the vanguard of getting people informed globally.
The challenges that face the station is capital intensive, and we continue to rely on the owners to help us, help the station substantially, so that we can be ready and be equipped.
As a television station with government propriety, Ogun State Television has been fair to all, regardless of political, religious, and ethnic differences.
I recall that as a young man, shortly after leaving secondary school, we really watching Ogtv, and because it propelled Ogun State as a state of knowledgeable people.
Ogtv is a station, I would say, as a teenager, I grew up to live and watch. And over the years, I think my admiration and love for the station has not diminished. I enjoy to continue to be more professional, dedicated in the service of the government and the good people of Ogun State. On the part of this administration, President Abeokuta government will continue to support you to discharge your duties at the fourth estate of the realm, so that years down the line, you'll continue to grow in leaps and bounds.
But with the digitalized television and broadcast, Ogun State government and indeed all stakeholders have to sustain its patronage of the People's Tele to make it relevant to the ever-changing digital world.